ActiveCampaign, ThriveCart, RFM examples. In the previous video, we covered how to calculate and store that information in ActiveCampaign from ThriveCart. In this video, we're going to show you a couple examples of what you can do with that. There's two things I'm going to do in ActiveCampaign. They're both automation based. One's when value is greater than, the other is certain number of days since last purchase. So let's dive right in. So inside your ActiveCampaign account, there's two automations I'd suggest doing. One I'm going to call RFM greater than, and the other one's called RFM since. Now they're both triggered when the contact field's RMF value changes. Now in this case, for the RMF greater than, we want that to change every time it changes, not just once, but every time. And what we end up doing is we put the person through the automation and then we check. Is the RFM value greater than, and if you remember, this is $100. ThriveCart gives us the extra 2 digits or 2 zeros to represent pennies or cents for US dollars anyways. So I had to put in what looks like 10,000, but it represents $100. So anytime the RFM value is greater than or equal to $100, in other words, they've spent at least $100, and it could be on the first order or it could be after a number of orders. Also, there's a tag that does not exist, and this is important because I don't want somebody to run through this section of the automation more than once. So we check, does this tag exist? RFM limit. So as long as that tag doesn't exist and the RMF value is greater than $100, we put them down the yes path. As soon as we put them in there, we tag them with RFM limit. Now that will prevent them from ever coming down this path again. And then you do something. In this case, I'm simply notifying myself. What you could do is tap into a service that automatically sends a gift. You can send out an email, something. You got a way to identify people that have spent a certain amount of money. So that's one way to do it. Another thing, RFM sense. Again, triggered by when the contacts field RFM value changes ever, but it runs just the first time. And then what we do is we wait for a certain number of days. In this case, I'm waiting for 30 days. And I just like to break it up into chunks so I can see how many people are at each step if I want to. I could have just put in simply 30 days and been done with it. But I put in 10 days, 10 days, 10 days to get to 30. Then we have a check. It's does the contact's RMF last date is current date minus 30. In other words, the last time they bought was 30 days ago exactly. And if that's the case, then we go down the yes path. Now the reason it wouldn't be the case is, let's say they made a purchase, let's say 15 days after the first purchase. Well, that changes their RMF date. And so when they get to this 30-day point, this won't match. In other words, we want to say anybody that bought but hasn't bought for 30 days, do something. In other words, send them an email. I'm putting them into another automation that makes an offer. That's ActiveCampaign, ThriveCart, RFM examples.